theory,
Yeah.
but I wonder if I could come to you now, Francesca, because it seems to me, I could imagine now that how this agenda that was developing towards a more specified, I think, area of learning, kind of links in with skill learning.
Well, it wasn't at the beginning,
Yes.
because I took this job. The head of the counselling service, who'd set up a counselling service at Polytechnic, was Hans Hoxter, who had one of the, I think he's been the man who brought counselling really to this country originally, because he set up the, originally there was a committee set up worrying about mental health and deciding that what they needed to do was to deal with mental health in schools, because people were becoming mentally ill, and if they dealt with it earlier on, and the work from America had started already in schools, and he brought over various famous people from America, Leonid Tyler and Gilbert Wren, Donald Super. There, he was an entrepreneur.
Yes.
There, and a difficult man to work with, but a wonderful man in many ways. And so he had set up this diploma at North East London. He persuaded the principal to set it up. It had been set up, I was reminded about it, was been set up by a health visitor, on the whole, who thought counselling was a sort of form of health visiting, and they recruited an educational psychologist, a sociologist, and a social policy. That's right. We had these 4 different things, and they all took place in different bits of the Polytechnic. So the students had to move from. When I took this course over, they were moving to all these different places, and with Hans' help, we established the one which was an old cigarette factory in Stratford in London, there. And we established a base there, and the people came in and taught there rather than the students having to go out. And this was a course which was set up by London University extramural department there. So it was a diploma which was examined by them, presented by them. So it was completely different. It was a very structured course in which we had to obey university instructions and move with this. So very different from Bridget's, in which they were designing their own courses. And there, so that was some of the beginnings of this. And there was also, Hans had also got a careers course running with Peter Heaviside in charge there. And in fact, we did some work together there. Now, when I was at Keele, Leonie Tyler had been across and taught as part of that. I was there in 1970. And she'd sent a book across written by a student of hers called Susan Gilmore, which was the training of counsellors. And this was a draft copy, which I think copied at one time, took it back and used it with youth workers who I was working with at that time, before I went into the Polytechnic. And then I started using that at the Polytechnic for her, of a main way of training counsellors in small groups, and particularly looking at counselling, doing counselling in a group with feedback, and beginning to look at skills as well, and looking and seeing, she'd written stuff about how you expressed empathy.
The Gilmore.